But first, I would like to revisit and ask Carol that we had a few weeks back. Romeo wrote me about nightshades and the connection to arthritis. I got the impression he felt that there was some conspiracy about doctors not wanting to link food, in particular nightshades, to arthritis. And it was such an interesting question that I really felt the need to investigate it further and to follow up by having an expert on the show. The expert I found is Dr. Gloria Gilbere. She's a holistic rejuvenist and the author of 16 books, wow, as well as 1,400 investigative reports that focus on health. I think she really knows her stuff. Dr. Gilbere joins me now from Seattle. Hi, Dr. Gilbere. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Explain exactly what it is that you do.
Well, I'm a doctor of natural health. That's what my PhD is in. But I'm also a homeopath, and a rejuvenist is a health professional that deals with holistic methods of maintaining homeostasis in the body, Carol. So it's basically learning diet, natural detoxification protocols, and basically overall lifestyle changes that allows us to age without looking or feeling old. How's that for you?
Absolutely. Aging gracefully and more importantly, healthily is a very important thing for me. You are an expert on ingredients and labeling and how they hide different things in labels. So you can teach us a little bit about how to be a little bit smarter than the marketing people and learning their lingo for understanding which ingredients we don't want to be eating.
Absolutely. And like you, I've devoted my life to health and to basically health through education. I mean, I have clients all over the world that I consult with. And basically, the education is the foundation. If people don't understand what they're consuming, if they don't understand the consequences, we're going to keep doing the same old thing and expecting new results, right?
Definition of insanity, absolutely.
Exactly. And I am president of the International Fibromyalgia Coalition because of my success in identifying and finding natural causes and natural solutions, because sometimes we think, quote, something that's natural or that's a food, how can it hurt us? It's a food. But it does, and there's certain categories that we need to understand, along with the hidden aliases, let's say, of food ingredients that you mentioned earlier, for instance, the monosodium glutamates of the world.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think about nightshades and their connection to arthritis? Because we had somebody write in and ask Carol, and I did some research, and I found that some nightshades were okay, some weren't. It just was so wishy-washy. There wasn't a definite answer. So I really would love it if you could give us a more definite answer, if you have one.
Absolutely. I am a recovered victim of fibromyalgia after a life-threatening accident, which is what prompted me to write the very first book I wrote. And we found out years later, I didn't know it originally, that there was a doctor that by the name of Childers, who was a horticulturist at the Rutgers University, that discovered that there was a chemical called solanane or solanase in nightshades, and that's all the nightshades, Carol, not just some of them,
okay,
that induces inflammation. So in other words, a misconception is, oh my gosh, I shouldn't eat any nightshades. If you don't have inflammation, it will not. We don't have scientific proof that it will accelerate inflammation or cause it. But if you already have it, which 91% of the population has some form of inflammation, even if it's your oral health, you know, periodontal problems, etc., then it ignites that inflammation even more so. So it accelerates inflammation.
Just very quickly in the time we have left, will you tell us what nightshades are? Can you name a few for us to avoid specifically?
Absolutely. It's tomatoes, potatoes, peppers. That's all the peppers, red, green, yellow. So it's tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, eggplant, paprika, cayenne, and the berries that are not specifically nightshades, Carol, but also have the same chemical that ignites inflammation is goji berries, blueberries, and huckleberries. So you can have raspberries and all the rest of the berries without any problem. But you can eat potatoes like sweet potatoes or yams instead of potatoes. So it's a very limited group. Eggplant, of course, is in there too. But there's a lot of substitutes. You don't have to have those if you have inflammation.
Right. I mean, absolutely, you can find other things to eat. There's plenty of things out there to eat. So basically what you're saying is if you've already got inflammation, avoid those foods that you just mentioned. And in the future, if you don't have inflammation, you could eat a little bit of it, but kind of steer clear if you can. Thank you, Dr. Gilbere, for joining us from Seattle, I think you're in, right?
Yes, I am. I'm in Seattle, and thank you so much for pointing all this information out. It's very valuable for you and Fox News to highlight it.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you again.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.